Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Destiny 2, the full game, on the GeForce GT 1030 for FPS monitoring. This time I won't be using cam since this game is blocking all overlays, so I'll be using the in-game FPS counter. And if you enjoy the content and want to support the channel directly, there are Humble and Amazon affiliate links down in the description. So Destiny 2, the full game, I'll be doing 1080p, 900p and 720p. To skip none of those sections of the video, check the description below. So first I'll show you 1080p, trying to be over 30 frames per second, since being close to 60 frames per second was kind of impossible on the GT 1030. So I decided to overclock the GT 1030 for 1080p. I added 250 MHz to the core and 500 MHz to the VRAM. You can check the core and memory clocks down in the description. Then for 900p and 720p, I disabled the overclock, so you're just seeing stock frequencies. But overall the game is running quite well. Just don't expect 60 frames per second. Even at 720p lowest settings, I wasn't able to maintain a constant 60. I was around 45 to 60, depending on what part of the map you are. But it's still a very playable experience. On 1080p you can use pretty much medium settings, just one set of settings below the 750 Ti, which is quite good. On 900p I was able to use a mix between medium and high, and the game stayed over 30 frames per second, so the game's still totally playable. And well, at 720p I first show you a 30-ish frames per second configuration, and then I lowered the settings to the minimum to show you what frame rate we get. But yeah, that's pretty much all I tested here. In all my Destiny 2 videos on the final game, I used the latest NVIDIA drivers, which are the game ready drivers version 388. So keep that in mind. And well, for the testing methodology, I just decided to run into one of the main areas, which is a big area compared with most of the places on the beta, so we get more CPU usage. Unfortunately, I cannot show you CPU, GPU and RAM usage since this game is blocking overlays, so I cannot use MSI Afterburner, CAM's overlay doesn't work either. This game is just blocking code injection, so you cannot really see that in an overlay in this game. So when I was testing the game, I just alt-tab out of the game, look at the CPU and GPU usage, and so far for what I could see on the G4560 on these open areas that I tested, there was some drops in the GPU usage on all the cards, excepting on the 750 Ti for example. So if we're targeting 60 frames per second, the G4560 seems to be close to our target. It sometimes drops to 50 frames per second due to the CPU. It's usually when you look far into the distance, not really a long period of time. So I think that it's still good enough to use the G4560 on this game. Then on the Ryzen 3 1200 with the 3.9 GHz overclock, it happened less often, so we had a better average frame rate. So yeah, if you have a modern i5 and i7, something like that, maybe a Ryzen 5 1600 overclocked, it should be enough to be over 60 frames per second without a problem. Then in the options menu, I used, well, what you see on screen, 105 degrees FOV. On the anti-aliasing option, we don't have MSAA anymore. Bungie said that it wasn't working well with the game, with the way they render the game, so they decided to remove MSAA. So we have FXAA and SMAA. Then the rest of the options is pretty much the same as the beta. So I'll just tell you the ones that I lowered in order to get the best performance. Screen space, ambient occlusion, give me a decent boost in performance. Anti-aliasing from SMAA to FXAA is like 3 or 5 frames. Then the fulfilled, I recommend lowering this. It's a hit to the frame rate as well, quite noticeable. Shadows obviously are also a hit to performance, so I recommend keeping that on medium or high. It's usually the best balance performance quality. And then we have the draw distance. We have environment, character, foliage detail and foliage shadows distances. So those 4 options control different draw distances. The main one that helped me to get the best performance by lowering it was environment detail and foliage shadows distance. The other ones also gave me a boost by lowering them, but it wasn't as big of a boost compared to environment and foliage shadows. But yeah, overall it runs pretty good even on budget hardware. So yeah, thank you so much for watching guys, and see you next time.
All right, Devrim. What's next?
Helping me spread the word. We're broadcasting a signal from the farm to people who fled the city saying, you'll be safe here.
And we need to make sure everyone, everywhere, can hear it.
Place a few signal amplifiers around the area to boost the signal. That should do the trick.
That's one node online.
Looks like the signal's already amped. That was fast.
Hang on a minute. I just spotted quite a few fallen headed your way. Keep your guard up. Eliminating that captain under the church must have drawn the rest of the fallen out.
They won't stop coming. We need to make sure that signal is strong. Better hurry up and place that second node.